Sneakers and Cleats, the podcast.
Welcome back to the Sneakers and Cleats podcast. It is Thursday, October 16th. This is episode 234. Matt, Chuck, Don, full house, Luis, Bob, Des upstairs. Everybody is on hand for what may be the final episode of this podcast. It's definitely my final episode of the podcast. My last day at the station is tomorrow, so we are all
job
on
well
tap.
done, Matt, by the way.
We'll miss you, but we won't miss the podcast. Does that make sense?
Love to hear that. Love to hear that episode 234. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, both News 4 Fox SA, to get everything
What
from.
people don't see behind the scenes is you grabbing us by our shirts to drag us in here.
Yes.
Is them walking in with 5 pages of rundown that have been done by me, and then saying, "What's on the rundown?" That's
an old people problem, man. Respect your elders.
what happens.
Yeah.
I can
Anyway,
teach you how to do this a lot
That's what
more
we get for
efficiently.
missing staff meetings.
I can teach you how to do this a lot more
I
efficiently.
figured it out around episode 100.
Yeah, Cowboys, Spurs, TNL preview.
So which UFL team will you be playing for?
I'm going to Victory Capital Management as a media and comms associate. We'll start there on Monday, basically doing PR and communication, social media for them, but also kind of being a liaison between their relationship with the Spurs. As we all know, the Spurs practice facility is called the Victory Capital Performance Center. So I will kind of be dealing with their partnership, making sure both parties hold up their ends of the bargain, and also doing podcasts and on-camera stuff over there at Victory Capital. So expanding their social media and media growth.
They're lucky
So,
to have you, as were we.
For sure. For
yeah,
sure.
It's been a fun ride, and looking forward to doing one last podcast today. So, and one more TNL tonight. So, as is tradition on Thursdays, we got Spurs, we got Cowboys, we got TNL preview. So we got our TNL top 10 of the week for week 8. We'll go over that, plus the preview of Burbank and Sam Houston. Should be a good district bout tonight over at the Alamo Stadium, the old rock pile. The Spurs making hay in the preseason, undefeated through 4 games for the first time since the 01-02 season, when they went to the conference finals after they won in 01. What does that mean? What have we seen from Dylan Harper, Steph Castle so far? The Spurs maybe poised to make a serious leap, getting some projections out from The Athletic, from ESPN and all them. So we'll talk about that. Plus, the Cowboys have the best offense in the NFL. They still suck. The defense is the worst unit in the NFL. So we'll talk about that. Plus, getting reinforcements. CeeDee Lamb poised to be very close to coming back this weekend against the Commanders. So we'll talk about all that. I want to start off with the Spurs first. 4-0 this preseason. First time since the 01-02 season. Don, thoughts on the Spurs after they beat the Pacers on Monday, and they're welcoming the home Pacers tomorrow to cap off their preseason?
Preseason, absolutely nothing. But I'm encouraged by a couple of things. One, how seriously they're taking preseason games with their rotations. I did not see this coming. I thought we would see very little of Vic and some of these guys, and see a lot of the Jordan McLaughlins and Carter Bryants
Lonnie
of
Waters.
the world. Yep. But we're seeing a lot of experimentation with rotations. We're seeing some Luke and Vic playing together. We're seeing different lineups. We're seeing guys who we expect to be the top 7 guys, play extended minutes. And from what I see in those minutes, the Harper kid is way advanced compared to what I thought he would be as a rookie. I mean, we knew he was talented, but the way he plays the game and makes the right plays is very impressive. Vic has been impressive with his weight gain and the way he's pushed people around a little bit. Castle's what I thought he is. Devin has been fine. And Keldon's been great. Keldon's thicker. He abandoned that whole let's get in shape thing. And he's in shape, but he's heavier than he was last year. And he's been playing a nice role. I think they're going to be really good. I think they're going to be in the mix. I don't think they're as high as the Athletic has them, but I think they're going to be on the verge of the playoffs and not necessarily a play-in.
Chuck, what have you thought so far?
Yeah, I mean, there's the old line from Bill Parcells, at some point I got to see it, right? So I think it's easy to discount what goes on in the preseason, but based on watching just the Pacers game alone the other night, I'm very impressed. I mean, I liked how cohesive, no matter who they put on the floor, seemed to play well with each other. I'm with Don on Keldon. I mean, he looks different. The aura around him feels different. And I think he's playing more within his game and making others better around him. Harper, same kind of feel on him. There's a maturity to his game that looks a little different than the average rookie.
Seems like he plays at NBA speed already.
Yes.
It's not too fast for him.
Yes. Well said. There's some things that are pissing me off though too. It's like you look at Victor's stat line the other night and it was unbelievable, right? But he's got 7 turnovers. And it's this, every time I see him do it, you can see it. It's like he gets going and it's like, okay, here comes the Instagram post. Like I got to have one play per day that will go off on social media and get me 1 million clicks. And he ends up looking like Bambi learning how to walk at the first, for the first time. So there's some things like he doesn't need to do these things. And it's like, as soon as he cleans that kind of stuff up, because the stamina looks better. He walked into a couple threes the other night after he'd played minutes. And I thought, wow, I mean, those are strong threes. Those look like a guy that isn't winded. When you're a little more winded, it's harder to shoot. He stepped in confidently, made them. I mean, everything about his game looks more mature. Just get rid of the freaking Instagram crap that, so there's a lot I think you can take away from. I thought it was fascinating. Obviously, you can't base everything off of one game that Castle started, but there were other guys that played more minutes than him. I think he's the one guy that you think maybe has a little more work to do in trying to make others better around him at this point. But when you look at some of those plus minuses, if they get Cornette and Keldon off the bench that go 11 for 11, you look at what their plus minuses are. I mean, they're not going to lose many games if you get that kind of production from guys off your bench. I mean, very, very efficient is what it looked like to me in a very, limited amount of playing time with these guys on the court the other night.
Let's hear from Mitch Johnson and Julian Champagny on what they think so far this preseason.
We've had some things that we wanted to do in camp, and we feel like we've worked hard at achieving those, right? What that produces, not sure. But I think we feel like we've tried to put energy in the right places.
Amongst the group, we want to win. So I think that's what's most important to us. All the anticipation, all the the hype around it is great. We love that, but at the end of the day, it's not going to matter if we don't, figure it out between these lines.
A couple of things I think they wanted to get established this preseason was the intensity and how they're going to continue to try hard on defense. The effort on defense is something that has been apparent. My bad. The defensive effort is something that has been apparent. The intensity on that side of the ball has been apparent so far. I also like that they're mixing and matching. We're kind of seeing them experiment already in the preseason, which is something that we saw in the last 2 years. They basically experiment for the first 30 games and then finally figure it out after January 1st. So it's nice to see that they're putting in some of that effort in the preseason as well, trying to figure things out. So maybe they can start faster than they have in the last couple of seasons.
And the thing we're not talking about, right, is De'Aaron Fox.
Mm-hmm.
They traded for an all-star last year at the break. Got 5 games with him and Victor before they both went out. This guy's a career 7-year, 4.5 points per game guy. I mean, he's legit. He's been an all-star. So as high as we are on Harper and Castle and Wemby and all of them, De'Aaron Fox makes them immediate playoff contenders. That was the intention when you give a guy full max, but whatever he got
pretty close.
A couple $100 million.
Yeah. And one other thing about what you were saying about Wemby, there was a play last game when someone passed it out to him on the 3. He was dribbling between his legs and he looked like he was going to do the pull-up, which he would have taken last year and the year before that. He would have just settled for the 3, but instead fakes the pull-up, drives in the middle, put a shoulder into the guy and dunks it over him. I'm like, that's something he wouldn't have done the last 2 years. That's something that his body is now allowing him to do, which is a good sign for a guy that is, however tall he is. The mystery of how tall Victor Wembanyama is continuing. So, yeah, apparently someone said 7'7" the other day, and nobody will answer the question straight in press conferences. But for someone who's going to start asserting his size, that was good to see. As far as Steph Castle goes, I loved how he played on Monday. That was his first preseason game. Obviously, he was in limited minutes. But a lot of the questions have been, how's he going to fit alongside De'Aaron Fox? How's he going to fit alongside Dylan Harper? And we saw a little bit of it as kind kind of taking turns with Dylan Harper and Steph Castle and Wemby being the playmakers, and then the other guys and being the distributors, and the other guys being the playmakers on the floor. I think we saw Wemby running the floor and throwing a lob to Steph Castle in the first quarter. We've seen Dylan Harper have 8 assists and kind of be that distributor when needed. So there's a lot of interchangeability, I guess, along those guys, and that's been good to see as well.
I think there's a lot of interchangeability, period. I mean, we saw a lot of guys walking the ball up the court in that game the other night, and I think that's the key to a lot of different things on this team, right? How are they going to play together on both sides of the ball, whether it's on offense, sharing the ball, passing it? How are they going to play their defensive sets when things break down? Are guys going to rotate and all that? I think you're seeing a lot of signs, a lot of positive signs that they'll be willing to do that. And again, we've talked about it before. They've got good individual players, but it doesn't mean a damn if you're not playing together. And I think they're really good early signs that is changing before our eyes.
I'll give you an example. When Harper came in the other night, I think it was his first game. His first big play was an alley-oop to Wemby.
Yeah, that he thought that he said he threw too low. Yeah.
Right. He did it in game 1 of the preseason. We waited 2 years for Devin or Keldon to throw that pass.
True.
Right. So, and it was
I think he knows his role.
Right. But I think having Castle, who did it last year, Harper, who's doing it now, Fox, who's done it for a living, those 3 guys will show and have shown the guys that frustrated us, Keldon, Jeremy, and Devin, how to play. And because they're playing that way, Devin's starting to play that way. Keldon's playing that way. We haven't seen Jeremy yet. But the fact that Fox, Harper, and Castle are better players, too. I mean, they've been all taken in the top 4. Wemby, Harper. I don't know that Fox was maybe 5th overall, maybe 6th overall.
Yeah.
I don't know. These are all-stars, right? So the fact that they have better pedigree coming out and that they're better players, Devin, I think it's going to rub off. I think everybody's going to be more willing to share.
Yeah, I mean, you got 2 first-round picks, so you've bolstered the roster that way. They obviously signed a couple guys, and it's as it should be, right? You should have to fight your ass off to get out on the court. And if you're not going to do what you're being coached to do, no matter who it is, then somebody else is going to get a chance to see if they can play the team game better.
He was number 5 overall to the Sacramento Kings. Let's hear from what Steph Castle said about merging with these young rookies.
I mean, it's great. It's great sharing the court with him. I mean, I'm able to get off the court. I mean, I'm able to get off the ball a little bit. He's able to get off the ball a little bit. So, that chemistry that we're going to be able to build game by game is definitely going to be something there for sure.
And as they continue to build that chemistry throughout the preseason, now 1 game left against the Pacers before they tip things off against the Mavericks next week. A lot of people are starting to project, okay, what are the Spurs going to be? We don't know, but there's a lot of projections looking at maybe 7th place in the West. Anywhere from 7th to 10th is what I've seen so far. Maybe I think there was one that had 6th, and somewhere between 40 to 45 wins. I think the absolute ceiling for this team would be 50. If in a perfect world, if everyone stays healthy, if everyone starts clicking right away, maybe 50 wins if they kind of get rolling early. I think the floor, though, is much, much higher than it has been in the previous years. I would be shocked if this team wins less than 36 games.
Yeah, I would be too.
Man, totally.
Yeah.
I think that would be a complete and unmitigated failure of this team to win less than 36 games. I would argue less than 40, but at a minimum 36 would be just a disastrous year in my mind.
If we see more of what we saw against the Pacers, granted they were shorthanded, you could play all that, but the style of play, the willingness to share the ball, taking the hero ball, there's a lot less of that. Playing complementary team defense and showing effort on that side of the ball, there's no freaking way they don't make the playoffs. If we see more of that going into the regular season.
And I agree with you. My pick is 47 wins, 8th place.
47 wins getting you 8th place is wild.
Yeah.
The West is loaded.
Maybe 7th. But, and I agree with you, man. I'm not saying you're wrong. But what I'm saying, when you said the absolute ceiling is 50, there is no absolute ceiling for Victor Wembanyama.
That's true. He would bust through it because he's super tall.
Yeah. there is no absolute ceiling.
He'd be bleeding.
Like, I would be shocked if they won 55 games, but it's possible.
What record would I, in win total, as far as like the max amount of wins, what wins would, if I was to tell you they won X amount of games, what would absolutely shock you?
Well,
Like, would you
they're
never?
low or high?
High.
60.
So if I told you the Spurs right now are a 60-win team, you would say BS.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think they're a 60-win team.
I don't think they are either, but I'm just
but-
wondering.
I think 50 is doable.
Bob?
Hey, Ed was saying that Harper looks amazing. I just want to say the most amazing thing, the thing that really stood out to me in the preseason so far is Dylan Harper's defense. His ball pressure is remarkable. It's going to change. It's going to change everything. That kid can play.
For
They
the
got
life,
3 of them.
for the life of me, I don't know how
De'Aaron
Rutgers
Fox
only
can
won-
guard?
missed the tournament last year.
De'Aaron Fox can guard and Castle can guard.
All right, let's get to. I'm trying my hardest for the first time in 234 episodes to actually stick to 30 minutes. So, yeah, the last one. See, I'm
Last question.
really trying my best.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to the Cowboys real quick. So the Cowboys playing the Commanders this week. It's like Jekyll and Hyde, the Dallas Cowboys. You play
On the
really
same team.
You really play, on the same team. You play really well against the Packers, and you lose to and you play well against the Eagles. You almost beat the Eagles on opening night, but you lose to the Bears and handily lose to the Bears, and then you lose on a last-second field goal to the Panthers. When I say you lose to the Bears and the Panthers, everyone's like, "Holy crap!" I mean, the Panthers are 3-3. All of their wins, I think, are at home. The Bears are playing a lot better. We saw them beat the Commanders on Monday night. But either way, they have the best offense and the worst defense in the league. Chuck, what do you make of this team 6 games in at 2-3-1?
Well, it's sad that it doesn't appear to be getting much better on the defensive end of the ball. But having said that, if you'd have told anybody in Cowboy dumb that their team would have the best offense this many weeks in, 6 weeks into the season in the entire league, given the fact that they've had so many offensive linemen miss games, they were out there, 2 of their top 3 receivers in the last game, and you've got a journeyman running back that, was by most accounts going to be a reclamation project. I mean, hats off to what first-year head coach Brian Schottenheimer's doing with that offense. First-time play caller, first time with the Cowboys play calling, I should say.
Right.
I mean, there were a lot of moving parts. Things are humming, right? I mean, and they're about to get more healthy there. But, I kind of took umbrage a little bit with what Jerry was talking about the other day on the phone or with his radio show that, he said, well, Carolina is really good in places where we really need the work, i.e. the running game. And so he said he wanted to see, a little bit more from the offense in what he was trying to say. And I'm thinking, well, shit, pardon me. How much more?
234 episodes in.
Yeah. Sorry. How much more?
No, it's a podcast.
Okay.
You can. But
Well, we can bleep it out too.
I will
post, right?
bleep it.
But I'm thinking, how much more can you expect from your offense at this point? Yeah, I mean, the last drive didn't go great, but I mean, come on. I mean, they have their own challenges too. And quite frankly, I mean, it's, Carolina's going to make its bones because they've got a pretty good defense, not elite, but I mean, the year that Dak is having, it's remarkable. How he's playing, remarkable. All those things. And yet, for the first time in NFL history, if they take this the distance with the best offense and the worst defense, it'll be the first time in league history it's ever happened.
The thing is, when you score 27 points, you expect to win the game. That's just, you have to be able to win a game on the road when you score 27. Your defense has to hold them to 26. You just have to win those games. And they didn't win that game. They couldn't beat the Bears on the road. They couldn't win when they scored 40 against the Packers. You need to win some of those games if you're going to make hay where in this part of your schedule. Now you have the Commanders coming in who, I don't want to say are reeling, but they should probably be 4-2. They probably should have won that game on Monday night against the Bears. And now you're trying to go 3-3-1 while the Eagles are reeling a little bit after going 0-2 in the last 2 weeks. And so are you going to make something of your year or not? And the Cowboys are 1.5 point underdogs this week with a 54.5 point over under, which is crazy because their defense is so horrible. Are you going to make something of your season or not? That's what this week feels like.
The best part about all of this for me with the Cowboys is you can line it all up at the end of the day, and they're 1 game in the loss column behind the Eagles. So still early in the year, plenty of time to figure this out. And luckily, if you just told Cowboy fans going in that you'd have the worst team defensively in the NFL 6 weeks in, to think that they haven't buried themselves, there's a lot to be positive about too going forward.
I go back to my preseason prediction. Everything Chuck just said is true. They're still in it because of Washington and Philadelphia stumbling a little bit. But at the end of the day, everybody's talking about the scheme and should they play more man and all that. At the end of the day, it's not about the X's and the O's. It's about the Willies and the Joes. And they don't have the Willies and the Joes. They don't have good players. Steven and Jerry are delusional, thinking they have good players. Steven was on the radio the other day, shocked that this defense wasn't like the number one defense in the NFL. And everybody else, they had one good player, and they traded that guy away. Now, Osa and
Osa's a good
95
player.
are good players.
Kenny, yeah.
Those are good players. Not great players.
Good player.
They're good players.
Yep.
They had one great player, and they traded him away. The rest of those guys are just guys. They're just guys, and some of them are less than just guys. And I'm almost ready to say that Deron Bland and Seven were one-hit wonders.
Now you're at my level. That's what I've been saying for like a year.
Yeah. This defense is going to continue to struggle, and unless Dak is Miracle Man and can score 30 every week, they have no shot.
The thing with the Cowboys is, especially this year, they're going to win games that they're supposed to lose, and they're going to lose games that they're supposed to win. So I won't shock me in the slightest when they beat the Commanders this Sunday.
It's the NFL, man.
Could happen.
Yeah, I mean, with as much time as the new head coach spent with the last head coach and emphasis on division games, yeah, it's not going to surprise me either if they beat them.
All right, let's get to you guys want to make a pick real quick on the Cowboys? Cowboys win this weekend or what?
Yeah.
No.
You think they lose to the Commanders?
Yeah.
Okay.
What's the spread?
It's 1.5 for the Commanders.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah. for
Cowboys
sure.
are home
Give me the
dogs.
Cowboys.
Yeah, I'll take the Cowboys too. So that would put the Cowboys at 3-3-1, right in the mix. All right.
Look at us already giving it to them, right? Yeah, see, they're right there, 3-3-1.
Hey, it's
7
all right.
games in,
No one's listening to this afterwards anyway. Let's
Not
go.
that you care either, short timer.
Yeah. Last day tomorrow.
right.
See you guys later.
Right.
All right, let's get to the high school football here. So I'm going to do what I usually do. I'm going to blitz through the top 10, and so we can get to the TNL preview. Stop me if you have something to interject. TNL top 10.
I would interject, Matt, but I'm supposed to be preparing for this game tonight, and so you're taking me away from that.
You've had all week.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nothing else going on?
TNL top 10 for week 8. So Harlan and Johnson still remain at the top of the list, even though one of them was tested mightily last week. Harlan 6-0, 4-0 in district. They beat Holmes 69-16. I will tell you that game was over by the time they kicked off, because the game started. That's the game I went to go film. Yes, film. It started out with a Holmes pick, first play touchdown for Harlan. Holmes 3-and-out, second play touchdown for Harlan. So that game was over from the start. However, I will say that whoever broke into the Holmes locker room and stole $3,400 worth of stuff from the Holmes locker room while they were on the field playing in extracurricular activities, like, you just
Shame on you.
Yeah. Whatever happened there, hopefully the NISD find what happened and bring those people to justice, because that's just a bad story. Johnson, number 2, 6-0, 3-0 in district. They beat Reagan in overtime 34-27. They were down by 10 with 2:30 left and ended up one play touchdown for Rayshawn Hurt all the way to the end zone, and then game tying field goal that was tipped by Reagan at the end of regulation, sent it into overtime. They got the touchdown. They remain undefeated. It was a great game in the Stone Oak Super Bowl up there. New Braunfels is still undefeated. They beat Bernie Champion 27-17. They play Piper this week in what should be a really, really good game. Unicorns are off to their best start since 2007 when they advanced all the way to the state semis. Smithson Valley beat Wagner 48-7. They play Seguin tomorrow. They're 3-0 all time against Seguin. The Brennan Bears got their first shutout of the district season. They beat Marshall 66-0. They're 5-1, 3-1 in district. They play Holmes this week. Steele is 6-1, 3-0 in district. We saw them on TNL last week. They beat Judson 8-13. What do you guys think of this reloaded Steele team? They just jumped. They jumped all over Judson from the opening kickoff, literally. So
yeah, speed.
They're just. I mean, and that was without their best player. Like, they won 48-13 with 2 kickoff returns, and they didn't have their best player. So
their best player on offense.
Their best player on offense.
Yeah.
Best player on defense is Forks up, baby.
Yeah. No, they got that DB, man.
No.
Second
Yeah.
best player on defense.
Yeah.
Number 2, man.
All right, well, number 9's pretty good.
No, he is really good. No question about it.
Tempe's going to enjoy that young man. Number 7, Clark Cougars. Saw them a couple weeks ago on TNL. They're 6-0, 3-0 in district. They beat Madison, Chuck's Madison Mavericks, 31-21. They play Brandeis this week.
Yeah, that ought to be a nice little tilt, huh?
Yeah, that'll be a good game.
Yeah.
The Cougars haven't been 6-0 since 2009 when they advanced to the state quarters. Southwest has the Fire and Armor Bowl this week. Well, that should be really, really fun. They're 6-0, 4-0 in district. They beat South San. They got Southwest Legacy in the Fire and Armor Bowl this weekend, and it'll have huge district ramifications tomorrow night. I believe we will be there. I would be shocked if that wasn't Jack's game and our game of the week. So that's up to Zach, though. Bernie is number 9, 5-1, 2-0 in district. They beat Harlandale 49-14. They play Victoria West, 7 p.m. Friday, Bernie ISD Stadium. Grant Sweeney threw a career best 410 yards with 3 touchdowns.
Play of the week nominee.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he was phenomenal last week. And then speaking of phenomenal, Alamo Heights 6-1, 2-1 in district. Now they beat Victoria West 54-24.
Listen to these numbers.
Listen to the numbers for DK Garza. So they play Veterans Memorial at Orem Stadium on Friday. DK Garza had a season in one night. He went for 597 total yards, 512 yards rushing, 85 yards receiving, and 6 touchdowns. They needed every bit of it.
Gives me goosebumps.
That is unreal.
Stupid.
That's
Yeah,
unreal.
That's Kenneth Hall, Sugarland Express type stuff.
That, like, at what point do you just like put everybody in the box and say, don't let him do it?
Oh, I'm sure that's what they were doing,
yeah,
right? It
but
just goes to show a couple of things, right? His greatness, the fact we've said it a million times here before, but it bears repeating. He's way under recruited. And the fact that Ron Ritterman might be the best at showcasing his guys when he knows he's got a dude and he wants the whole world to know
So
he's got
unreal.
a dude.
Well, he
Yeah.
showcased him last year when Michael
Well,
Terry was there.
there's
too.
no
I mean,
question, but the fact that we're now this many weeks into this season and DK Garza is still being unrecruited is a direct correlation to the wink that this is Ron Ritterman showing everybody or showing the world or giving an opportunity for DK Garza to further make his case that he's being under recruited.
Yeah.
And let's not forget, like, Johnny Manziel's the greatest player we've ever seen in South Texas, and Oregon recruited him as a safety. Texas recruited him a little bit as a safety. A&M said last minute, okay, come on. But, right?
Yeah, and he
So
goes to camp, wasn't the guy that they
wasn't the
expected, and then he
guy,
lit it
and-
up in the camp. And the rest
Courtesy
is
of Kerrville
history, right?
Tybee.
this guy can play. This DK Garza can play. He's going to Cornell, Ivy League, right? So
Yeah,
he's really
at this
smart.
point. Yep.
So,
But
I mean, he's phenomenal. So let's get to our Week 8 TNL matchup. Sam Houston versus Burbank tonight, 7 p.m. Alamo Stadium at the old Rock Piles on CWSA. Burbank, let me just put the tail of the tape out there before I hear from the coaches. Burbank is 1-4, 1-1 in district. The head coach, Mitchell Ricker, taking over for Michael Mull, who left to take the Johnson DC job after last season. His first-year head coach, Mac and UTSA grad. They won their first district title last year with Hernandez at quarterback since 1978. So Burbank, off the high of last year.
Chuck, who was at Burbank in 1978? Basketball.
Oh yeah. Don't tell me because now he's gonna
Dun, dun, dun,
he's gonna
dun,
kill me.
dun,
No, I
dun,
know. I
dun,
know
dun,
exactly who it is, and I can
dun,
see his face, and I'm
dun,
blanking.
dun,
Let's think about this while
Gilbert.
Huh?
Our man Gilbert.
Yeah.
Gilbert Salinas.
There you
Sorry,
go.
Gilbert. Man, I'm freaking out.
You got it.
he
Had
made
4
the
hours of sleep last night.
Burbank has made the playoffs. Same here. Burbank has made the playoffs 4 out of the last 7 years, and starting to kind of pick things up under Coach Mitchell Ricker. Let's hear from him before we get to the Sam Houston Hurricanes.
The season hasn't gone exactly the way you guys had envisioned it, but obviously you can start to see that the steps are starting to take form. Big win against Highlands last week. What did that do to the confidence of this team moving forward?
It was great to get over the hump. We've been putting in the work. Kids have been growing every single week. It's really good for them to finally get a win here in district, and it's a win we needed so we can continue to try and accomplish our goals for this season.
Are you seeing, the head coach is going to see better than anybody else, but from where you guys started at the beginning of the season to where you guys are at right now, are you starting to see them believe in exactly what you're trying to instill?
Absolutely. We got a lot of guys playing their first season of varsity football. A lot of guys playing new positions, got a new coaching staff. There's been some bumps in the road early. But these kids keep showing up every day and fighting and growing, and we really appreciate and are proud of our team and our kids.
What does that say about the character of these young men? Because, you got a lot of high school kids that they start that losing process and they just kind of give up and quit. And these kids are still coming out here, putting in the work, putting in the effort in order to be able to get better. What's that say about them?
Oh, there's no quitting these kids. We got the best kids in the entire city. I'm so proud of them, and they're going to keep showing up every single day and trying to grow and get better.
This is going to be your first time on TNL as a head coach. It's a little bit different when you're on television and stuff, but how important and how special is it that Burbank gets to be showcased on TNL on a game that really matters for both teams in district fight for all of San Antonio to see?
Oh, I love it. It's great for the community, great for the kids. It's a great experience to be on TV, and we love it for our community and our program. You know what I mean? Get to showcase our athletes and all the great things they do for the rest of the city to see.
So looking forward to seeing Coach Ricker's guys. He's going to be taking on Sam Houston. They're finally starting to turn it on. They were 0-4, and a couple of games weren't very close early in the season. They're 3-4, 3-0 now in district. Jeremy Williams' guys. Jeremy Williams, former Baylor DB, all Big 12, 4 losses to start the season, now riding that 3-game win streak, all of them in district, which is the most important time to start a win streak. So let's hear real quickly from Jeremy Williams before we discuss the TNL matchup.
You start this season, you're 0-4. 3 of those losses were big blowouts.
Yes, sir.
You get to district, and all of a sudden, this is an entirely different team. Excuse my language, but what the hell happened between non-district and district to get these guys these guys are playing like district champions.
Yes, sir. The goal non-district wise was to push us, was to put us against playoff teams so we can be prepared. And like you said, when we got to district, our guys felt like we've been through so much, and then I felt like the road got a little easier for them, but we're still putting in work and paying attention to details, and we're trying to go get that district championship for sure.
Chuck, what are your thoughts on these teams tonight?
I love it. Backyard brawl, district battle. You got the top dog, Sam Houston, and you got Burbank that really controls its own destiny. So if they win out, they could still win the district. So there are like 4 teams right now in the here and the now that are jockeying for those last 2 playoff spots. Obviously, Burbank at 1-1 is one of them. They're having to figure out what to do at the quarterback position. But I'm really impressed with, both of these coaches. I know Coach Ricker early in his career, but Coach Williams, this is year 4 for him at Sam Houston. And, he's making young men over there. Not only that, but he's also creating opportunities for his players. The first 3 years, he's had 13 kids go off to play college football. So he knows what they look like. He develops them, and he's doing a really good job with his staff. They had a really brutal non-conference schedule trying to get ready for what they were going to be facing in league play. And they expect once they get there to dominate, which they have to this point. Burbank, conversely, they expect to win the district, and they expect to make the playoffs, and that all still is right in front of them too. So I think we're going to have a hell of a game tonight.
And can I just give a shout out to these coaches because, we get to see a lot of teams and a lot of schools and a lot of programs. And it's election season coming up, and we're seeing these bonds by certain districts. I won't name them, that are having $500-600 million bonds to do new turf and new swim centers and all this kind of stuff. These guys are doing so much with so much less. You go to their campus, you go to their practice fields, you look in preparation for this game at the number of coaches on their staff is a fraction of what some of the other school districts are. And these guys are coaches, they're big brothers, they're fathers in a lot of cases. They're at the meal ticket for some of these kids that won't eat if coach doesn't hand them a sandwich from his drawer at school. Man, these guys are champions.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's one of the best parts about these SAISD games. And while it might not be the best football product, it's the stories behind them are still worth being told.
Yeah, there's some dudes. We're gonna see some dudes tonight.
I promise you that the product on the field tonight will be way better than the UTEP Sam Houston game that was last night with 647 people at a college football game.
Don't go to sleep with some of these guys that are on the field, man. Burbank's got 2 kids. One kid's got an offer from Texas State. They got a sophomore, Puka, who we got a chance to see as a freshman last year. That kid's a dude. he's going to be a college prospect at some point. And then, same thing. Sam Houston's got a kid, LeBron. He's a college prospect.
Yeah, they're
So
D tackle too, big kid.
Yep, they've got some dudes, man. So as we say every week in TNL, I mean, we're going to bring you the best games, and this one will be one of them too. You can guarantee it.
All right, last thing on the way out, Bob, do you got anything? All right, last thing on the way out is
shout out Tom Guerrero.
Is 234 of these damn things, and we want to thank everybody who tuned in for any of them, all of them, and everywhere in between. Got thousands of downloads. We got thousands of views, hundreds of thousands of views if you combine everything. And we did this all for the people who wanted to hear from us and talk about the Spurs, talk about the Cowboys, the Texans, the high school football, which was a big commitment for me at the beginning of this. And thank you to Luis and to Bob for making everything happen on the back end, especially Luis, who, moved everything into these studios and made everything look good. Thank you to these two for contributing their time every week.
Dez.
Yeah, I'm getting there.
Okay, sorry.
Thank you to these two for contributing their time every week. Thanks to Zach for filling in. Thank you for Dez for rolling on everything and for making sure that we were good on the digital side of things. Javier, thank you for filling in for Luis, and Kelly and Chris Cordoba and everyone else who helped out. I think I've touched on everyone. If I missed anyone, I greatly apologize. I think I mentioned Zach as well. Zach for filling in for me when I was out. But 234 of these things, we didn't know if we would get to 10. So we got to 234.
That's awesome.
And so thanks to everyone who made a little idea I had come
and
to life.
Shout out to you, Matthew. You put a ton of hard work into this. We appreciate it. You've been unbelievable worker. You're incredibly ambitious, incredibly enterprising. You're smart in sports and news. You did a great job on the Uvalde coverage. Did a great job in everything you've done here at News 4. You're an absolute pain in the ass to manage, but we love you and we wish you the best.
That's the best. That's the best thing I can do is maybe be a pain in the ass to manage. Sorry, you'd rather have to rein someone in than
100%.
Motivate them. So
would much rather pull on the leash than kick somebody in the butt.
So we don't know if this will continue in some form or fashion. So until then, this is our goodbye, and we'll see you when we see you.
Forks up.